Okay.
Sometimes you have the super thin ones,
Yeah.
pizza fina. These are good. Some of them are like really big. They don't even fit on the plate.
Oh, dang.
That's my favorite type of pizza, by the way.
Okay.
Like the pizza fina, because it's just like so crispy and like light and so good.
Okay, so first of all, Birthh, like I've never had somebody, I know I just mentioned it to you, that I'm having a chat with, interviewing, who's prepared lunch or any kind of meal, first of all. So this is like an absolute first.
Yep.
Very
It's a first for me
exciting.
too.
And watching you in the kitchen too. Oh, first also, I know you said that it's like a bad move to not enjoy this while it's hot.
Yeah,
so
we need to eat it
So
now.
we need to eat it. Okay, so we need to try
I mean,
it.
let's stir it first. and
Okay,
just,
you
like,
teach me like.
I mean,
I'm
yeah.
under your tutelage. So what do I do?
It's
What do I
really-
do?
I
Just
mean,
kind of like get it in there so that
yeah,
equal bites of everything.
yeah.
It
I mean,
smells incredible.
that's generally.
like I just sometimes I think when I see or smell food that's just so good, I kind of shut down. Like I get overwhelmed.
I hope that doesn't happen today because we have an interview to make.
Yeah, no, I mean I just, oh my God, how does that look? Is that
Yeah, it looks good.
I'm getting everything. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Cheers. Thank you. This is insane. My God. This is like, so when are you opening up your restaurant? Seriously, well, I mean, speaking of restaurants, your mom has a restaurant, right?
Two, actually.
Two.
Yeah.
And so is this a dish that's served there?
No.
This is a Birthh original.
I mean, it's a classic and like Italian culture, just like basically like a cacio pepe with like some zucchini and like a little bit of like olive oil with like a comfy garlic rosemary thing that I did.
You say it so casually.
No, but
like,
because it's really simple. Like I think, you know, American culture, people don't even think that like cooking is something that is accessible. I feel that it's much easier to just like pull up your phone and like look at Uber Eats and stuff, but like
yeah.
the fees are crazy and like it just costs so much to like get some very like average food and that you don't even know like what's in it, you know?
Right. Well,
and so
I think that pasta is like a scary dish too to get from delivery, right? It's not going to be, it's not coming out like this. That is for certain.
I would never do that.
Yeah.
I mean, even like the time it took us to like prepare things for this interview, like this is a little like old, you know, like it's like,
dear.
you know what I mean? It's like
I want
for
to on
my
the record
taste.
that this does not taste old on any account.
Actually,
This
old
as-
is not the right word. Old sounds so gross. It's like such a
like past its optimal prime.
Yeah.
Or like
yeah, because
I
like the
don't
starch
know,
just gets so like tight. I don't know, and like it's not as creamy as it is as soon as you get it out.
Yeah.
But it's also like I think that like this is why it's worth going to a restaurant because like I don't know, like cacio pepe is a very simple dish, but it's also really hard. Like it's really easy to fuck up.
yeah.
And it has to do with the creaminess always, you know, like if you go to Rome and you have a cacio pepe, you're like, oh, that what I had was actually like very mid, you know?
Yeah.
So this is like garbage in comparison to like some.
No.
No.
No. Trust me. Trust my taste buds. No, this is fabulous, and
That's
I don't
good.
want. Yeah, don't feel the need to be too humble about this. This is fantastic. And you were saying too that you were using your mom's olive oil and the cheese that you brought over.
Yes.
I'm curious about like customs in that situation. Is that I've never taken like food like that overseas. Is that allowed? Do you have to be stealth about it? Do you just claim it?
No, it
on-
is allowed. The only
Yeah.
thing you can't bring is meat
Okay.
and like seeds.
Okay. But
You can't
cheese is
bring
okay.
a plant. Cheese is okay.
Okay.
Like oil, wine,
Okay.
cookies, all that stuff is okay. We brought
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff. I brought some Nutella,
Oh my gosh.
like the original one, because I don't like
Yeah.
the one here.
What is the
It's just too sweet.
difference?
It's just, I don't know. To me, it's like really sweet, and I've seen like videos kind of like comparing them, like doing blind tests and people not being able to recognize that. I think I can recognize that. All my European friends are like, Nutella in Europe is just nuttier, it's less sweet, it tastes better.
I would believe that.
I don't even think that Nutella is like the best chocolate hazelnut spread.
Yeah.
But
it's like kind of just that like nostalgic thing that's always around.
Yeah. There's some in Italy that are insane. They're so good.
Is there a particular brand or company that's just like?
I really like the. What is it called? God damn it! It's actually like really close to where I live.
Yeah.
Slitosa. That's the name.
Ooh.
It's like a small brand. They don't even like. I mean, probably now they're all over Italy, but like it used to be a very specific like Tuscan thing, which is where I'm from.
Yeah.
That one is insane. It's so good.
And is there any way that you can describe it that kind of makes it better? Is it just have that like artisanal quality? Or is there any dignifying element to it that you can just say, wow, it's
a little runnier.
Okay.
A little runnier.
Okay.
Which maybe doesn't sound as appealing, but
if you're spreading it on something, maybe that makes it nicer, right?
Yeah. It's even nuttier than European Nutella.
Ooh,
so you can really taste the hazelnuts. And I don't know, like it is hard to it's just like there's just more depth in the flavor.
You just
like,
have to experience
the
it.
Ingredients just taste fresher and better.
Okay.
And you can tell that it's just like made in a smaller scale. You know?
Yeah. Small batch, made with care.
Exactly.
And then you can absolutely taste the difference. Now that you're in New York and in Brooklyn, have you frequented any Italian restaurants, and what do you think of them? Is anybody making anything that's even up to Italian standards? Yes, okay, that's good to know. Have you been to any of them?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's a place in Williamsburg
Yes.
called Monte Sacro.
Okay.
It's typical Roman food. So carbonara, cacio e pepe. They got pinza, which is a type of like it's like a flatbread, kind of like pizza, but it's not like pizza. It's got a specific blend of flours, and it's so airy. It's so light. They have one that's with guanciale, mozzarella, and honey. That's really good.
That's a nice combination.
And it's just like, I love that place. It's a great carbonara. Very creamy. I've never had the cacio e pepe, but I think it's really good. And then, and like it's legit.
Yeah. Have you met the owner or the chef?
No.
Okay,
no,
maybe we can set that up. Like, and they can learn a thing or two. You guys can play in the kitchen. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? That would be cool.
Well, because I think that if you can give them a pass and say like, hey, they're doing it excellently, you know, from somebody who clearly has zero issues with making a fabulous pasta, that's very complimentary. Because I think, right, like there are a lot of places here that say, you know, oh, it's an Italian restaurant or whatever, that I think authentically a lot of people would be like, oh, no.
I will say that, like...
Have you been to any of those? And we do not have to name names. We should probably not name names, but...
Well, those are like the Italian-American places, I think, to me. But Italian-American food culture is just a different... It's like... I don't want to hate on Italian-American food culture. It's just different from what I grew up with, or like some things differ, you know, but... I can't help but feel connected to it in a way. It's like mostly because I came here. I am not an Italian American, but you know, maybe one day I will be, just from like, you know, citizenship or something. Totally. I don't know. So like, you know, the fact that, you know, some ancestors from like southern Italy, which was a very hard place to live in, you know, like that's where my grandpa is from, that's where my mom is from. They got on a boat and just like came here and kind of like brought Italian culture in all its different nuances, good and bad, you know, here. I I respect that, and I love that, and I appreciate that. Now, do I want to eat a chicken parm?
Right.
I don't crave it.
Like, what do you think about that? Like lasagna, spaghetti, meatball, that kind of like.
So lasagna, lasagna,
Okay, you're like,
lasagna is legit Italian.
Yeah.
Lasagna is from like Emilia Romagna, which is the region my dad is from. My grandma used to make incredible lasagna. You know, it's like Bologna, which is like bolognese and all that, like ragu.
Yes.
So that is legit.
Yeah.
Spaghetti meatballs is like a southern Italian thing.
Okay.
It's like not as common as it is here, but definitely in some like recipe books from like some grandma, there's many different iterations of that. But yeah, then like if I think about like the chicken Alfredo, that stuff, like, you know, I learned to like it, but I wouldn't say that it's part of my culture. If I go back home and I tell my mom, hey, look, I want to make you this dish that's chicken and cream, my mom's gonna be like, and pasta on pasta, my mom's gonna be like, you know, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
You know. Also, my mom was kind of like a bit of a hater, a bit picky, so. But
well, she has every right because she has 2 restaurants. But what do you think she would think of, or has she ever been to an Olive Garden?
Oh, well.
Have you ever been to one?
I have not been to
Oh
Olive
my,
Garden,
okay.
but I want to go.
Yeah.
Just for the experience.
Yeah.
I think I have a very big problem with overcooked pasta.
Okay.
So that's my biggest thing here.
When is it overcooked? And how does a lay person know that it's overcooked? What are like the qualities that you could like taste? Can you see it? How does one know who's like not a professional?
I mean, pasta needs to have a bite.
Okay.
You know, it shouldn't just melt in your mouth.
Okay.
You know,
Fair.
I would say that.
Yeah.
It should not melt in your mouth.
If it's melting in your mouth.
If it's
not
melted,
pasta.
if it's too easy to chew on, it doesn't have to be crunchy.
Okay.
You know, there's like the sweet spot, al dente is like al dente, you know, it's like the tooth. It's like it needs to have a tooth, like a bite. But when it's like overcooked and it's mushy,
Yeah.
I can't deal with that. I can't eat it. I'm sorry. Like no matter how good the sauce is.
They may. I can't say for certain because I don't know the last time I was at an Olive Garden. I will shout out their soup salad and breadsticks. It's a combination that they have with free refills, and it's fabulous.
What do you mean a soup salad?
So it's a lunch. Like it's soup, it's salad,
Oh.
and breadsticks.
I thought it was
like a soup
a
salad,
meal.
like-
I thought it was a soup salad, and I was like, that sounds disgusting.
It would be horrible, but luckily that's not what it is. But
Okay.
you get
Soup
all
and
of
salad.
all of those items,
Okay.
and you get unlimited refills and whatnot, and you know what you're getting. The flavors are nice, but the pasta is not a part of that. So I can't remember the last time I had pasta there. I feel like they should be very nervous if you came though, because I can't speak to their caliber.
You gotta take Olive Garden for what it is.
All right, so Olive Gardens aside, there is another thing about Italian food and consumption that I am very curious about, because this is often a very contentious topic, I think especially in New York. Mm-hmm. The proper way to eat a slice of pizza. Is there a way that if you were in Italy, somebody would be like, that is wrong, that is terrible? So to give you a little context, a few years ago, our former mayor, who has Italian heritage, was seen out dining, and he had a fork and a knife and eating the pizza, and he got ripped to shreds. Your thoughts?
I mean, I definitely know Italian people who like eat pizza with a fork and a knife.
Yeah.
It's not my personal favorite way of eating pizza.
Okay.
The way that I do it is.
Yeah. What is the Birthh way of eating pizza?
The Birthh way of eating pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, so obviously this is too big of a slice.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about that. What's the perfect
right,
slice?
because like so
Walk
for me,
through everything. Yeah.
So let's start from sizes, diameter,
Okay.
right? Because that's
Sure.
important. Because like obviously in Italy, I don't know if actually some people don't know, but we have our own personal pizzas. Like usually, you know, unless you're going to like a pizza al taglio place, which is like you know, it's like the square pizza or like, it's really rare to like see the big slices of pizza the way that they are here. Like it's way more common to just have a personal pizza that's like usually goes from this big for like Neapolitan.
Okay.
Sometimes you have the super thin ones, pizza fina. These are good. Some of them are like really big. They don't even fit on the plate.
Oh dang.
That's my favorite type of pizza, by the way.
Okay.
Like the pizza fina, because it's just like so crispy and like light and so good.
Wow.
So, you know, you cut it in like triangles, and then this is how I do it. You just like lift it up.
Yeah.
Again, like the triangle would be a lot smaller.
Sure.
It would just be like.
We'll use our imagination.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then you just lift it up and you eat
Do
it.
you fold it though?
It depends.
Or is that just for this purpose because it's too wide?
No, I mean, you definitely like need to grip it.
Yeah.
Right? Like there needs to be a little bit of a grip. So
Yeah.
you have to break the crust here.
Okay, so this is the whole technique.
I mean,
I'm into this.
I'm just realizing that it's a whole technique as we're speaking, because like
Yeah.
I never thought about it
It's
before.
second nature for you,
Yeah.
but for somebody who's like, I want to look legit.
But also like it depends on the type of pizza. Like
Okay.
Neapolitan pizza, it's like really like not wet, but it's a little, you know, it's like the bottom usually like
Flops
a little bit,
Okay.
so you're gonna have to like help it
Support,
maybe, you know,
okay.
support.
Yeah.
And that way maybe I fold it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Neapolitan pizza I fold it.
Okay.
Like
Kind of on a case by case,
Yeah.
type by type basis.
Yeah. Also, like, I'm really particular about pizza. Like, I don't want too much sauce, but I also like don't want it to be dry. You know, the mozzarella needs to be good quality, but not too wet.
Okay.
You know, so and I'll eat. This is like I guess my ideal pizza.
Yes.
You know, but I'll eat.
Construct it. Let's make it. What?
Yeah. So very thin, very light, and I've had it before. Like I would know where to get it. Like if I wanted. Yeah.
And should we shout them out?
I don't remember the name of the place.
Okay.
There are a bunch of places, like any place that does pizza fina or like
Okay.
sometimes it's called pizza romana, but I don't know if it's the same. At my dad's in Emilia Romagna, there are a couple of places that do it. It's like they basically like use a rolling pin, and it's like very
Super thin.
very thin. Little bit of tomato sauce.
Okay.
Not super like. The problem with pizza here, and I know the New Yorkers feel very strongly about their pizza.
Yes, so I would love to get your perspective on this.
And there are
as
a lot
well.
of good pizza spots here.
Okay. Any that are worth a
Yeah.
mention?
Well,
You don't have to. No free Pebble, so.
L'Industrie in Williamsburg.
Okay.
Have you ever been?
I have not,
It's really good pizza.
but now I know that's where
There's
I should go.
burrata slice.
Ooh.
It's so good.
Okay.
And that's like big slices.
Sure.
And then da Michele, which I was actually going to shout out when I was talking about good Italian food, because that place is amazing. And it's like, the original like da Michele, Antica Pizzeria da Michele is in Napoli. It's like one of the oldest pizza places in like Italy and Napoli, which is where pizza's from.
Yeah.
And they opened a location here. We went a couple months ago. It was really, really good.
Oh, good.
And they also make pasta alla Nerano, which is like similar to this, but not
Okay.
really.
So this is, I mean, you can obviously cook for yourself and have all of those tastes of home, but it's also very nice to know that like there are places in the surrounding area too, if you don't want to have to go through the trouble of doing it, they're meeting the standard. I appreciate that. That's great.
You can't make pizza at home without like a pizza oven.
Right. This is named Moonbase, right? And your newest album is Moonlanded. So
Yes.
I'm sensing a theme, but I want to understand, is there a connection? Were the names independent of one another and just coexisted in an interesting way?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a theme, and throughout the whole album, there are a lot of subtle space references. One of the first things that I talk about when I talk about Moonlanded is that it is not a sci-fi story. It's a very human story. So for me, when I think about the moon, it's a lot more like abstract and like symbolical. Moonbase, Moonlanded, the moon for me is my life in New York. And you know, the whole album just kind of like tells the journey of making some very life-changing decisions in a very, very specific time in the history of humanity, which was 2020. And like I came here, I think I landed March 4th, 2020.
Wow, so
And the day after everything closed off, I was supposed to be here for like 2 weeks, and I just kind of like stayed for 2.5 years. And I didn't really see my family, and there was a lot of emotional stuff involved in that. And throughout all that, I really had to like ask myself whether I wanted this, whether I was gonna make it, whether I was gonna break. When we started, I was also like in Jersey on a farm with strangers.
Wow.
And Storm, yeah.
How did that come about?
Oh my
You're
gosh.
like, that's a story for a whole other situation.
No. I mean, it's definitely part of Moon Landed and of what we were talking about. So I just like throughout all this, the beginning of COVID, again, like we're talking about early March 2020, where we were still like, is this a thing? Is this not a
Nobody
thing?
has any idea.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Let's just take all the toilet paper just in case.
Smart that you had that foresight, right?
No,
Like,
I personally didn't, but like
Okay.
I know that it was so hard to find in grocery stores.
yes.
And my wisdom teeth just were like, it's time to get infected.
Oh no.
And so I just recently met this friend in Rome who actually like lives here. His name is Jason, and he just became one of my closest friends. He's a film producer. He came with like this girl who he just met, who was like an extra in the movie, and they hung out with us. And she was like, "I'm going to a farm in Jersey, my grandma's farm. My grandma died, and now I'm gonna go there and like be with my parents and animals. You should come." And we're like, you know what? Maybe we should. And so I like got my wisdom teeth removed in Jersey, and I was supposed to just stay there and recover.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be like a couple weeks, and it just ended up being 9 months of just us living with these people in like an 8x8 room, like sharing a room, Storm and I. And it was a lot. It's definitely a lot. A lot of stuff happened. So throughout all this, you know, I also had to figure out like, what am I gonna do as far as like green card goes? It's not easy to be here. It's not easy to be here if you don't have an American passport.
Yeah.
I was able to get my SS extended, but then I ended up getting married with Storm because we were like, you know, we want to be together. I don't know when I'm gonna see you ever again. It was not a green card marriage. It was a love marriage. I'm renewing it now, so you know, I have to be clear about this.
Yes.
So to me, like my life here, not necessarily like New York, not necessarily like just kind of like the compound of all of these choices and my feelings throughout that time, this time still, that to me is the moon. And this is where I'm living now.
It's an incredible story and journey that you've been on, which I guess could also be viewed as, you know, parts unknown of like, oh, I'm going to the moon. And it's like, we don't know what's happening. Now I know it's not exactly that, but have you ever tried any of this like astronaut food?
No.
Have you ever tried like the astronaut ice cream?
No. I've seen it though.
It's an experience to be had.
So is it cold?
It is not. It is like a freeze-dried situation that's like it's almost like a meringue. So it's crispy and like dissolves in your mouth. It is not, if anybody's thinking of, and I know this is another thing that I'm sure Italians are very passionate about, gelato, it is not at all. Not at all.
I understand.
It's here and there.
I understand.
You can't even see it. It's as far away as the moon is.
It's like closer to Pez than it is to ice cream.
That is a great analogy. Yes.
Okay, I can picture that.
I mean, I know that like the human connection is a big core of a lot of your music and your inspiration. And even though the title, as we've kind of discussed, sometimes can be very, very different from the true meaning, you do have a song called Supermarkets.
People are just people, they don't know what they're after. Oh, oh.
Which is more so of human connection, not so much supermarkets, but I'm a person who's actually obsessed with supermarkets.
I love supermarket. I love grocery store. I prefer, well, you know, if I have to be honest now, being an adult person.
Okay.
I feel like I'm an adult now. I prefer farmers markets.
Ah.
You know.
Okay.
I've been putting a lot of like thought and like I've been thinking a lot about the stuff that I eat and where it's coming from and how it's cultivated. And it's not always like I'm not rich, unfortunately.
We're manifesting.
We're manifesting
yes,
the
yes.
richness.
Yes.
You know, but it's hard to like afford healthy food here. I'm used like I say that a lot, and a lot of European friends agree. I don't want to like hate on America because I chose to be here.
Yeah. But this is a true problem that we have.
But I will say that there's just something about the produce here. There's something about the protein here that just tastes wrong.
Yeah.
Unless you pay a lot of money for it. I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
It's very weird for me.
Like for people who, you know, have not had the opportunity to go to Italy and experience the foods and the farmers markets and the supermarkets there, what's kind of that culture shock? What are these main differences aside from clearly the quality and price? Or is that kind of the crux?
I mean, that is it. You know, that is it for me. I think, I mean, even just like, and I know that there are a lot of people and like more, it's also about being in the city, right? Yeah. But, you know, I used to literally like walk to a little like, what is called bottega, which is I guess where bodega comes from. Bodegas in Italy are very different.
So
it's
because you've been to them here, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
bodegas here. I mean,
I'm dying to know the differences.
no,
Or
I mean,
is it like not
it's
even one
not.
thing is the
It's
same?
like it's like not a deli. It's not a bodega. I mean,
Yeah.
it is like when I think of the word, I'm like, yeah, bottega. This is what it is. It's like, but you know, you go in there and there's like usually like really really fresh eggs. It's like, you know, their own chickens or like chickens get, you know, and
fresh eggs and chickens
cheese,
are not. Yeah. If
and
you
like-
see that here, run. A chicken in a bodega?
no, that would be scary. That would be scary. I wouldn't want.
Not
I
here.
wouldn't want
In
that.
Italy, I feel like that would just be.
Yeah, no, I mean there
delightful.
aren't like actual chickens in the shop, but like
Oh.
no. That
That
would.
sounds romantic and whimsical to me. Though. If you saw, you know, laying the fresh eggs, like
Yeah,
that sounds.
yeah. I also have friends who have chickens, you know, and like they have their own eggs and they're really good and really fresh. And and I actually have a friend in California who also like has their own chickens. So it's like, you know, it's really about like having outside space here. But yeah, like the bottegas in Italy are just like, you know, have really fresh cheese. Sometimes like, you know, you have like these like smaller, like what is it called, cheesemonger? Is that the word? Yeah. In Italian it's called formaggio,
Ooh,
which is actually
that sounds
like
so much better.
it's actually like, I mean, all of the old places that would just sell cheese right now are kind of closed because I think, you know, Italy is always 20 years behind America, but slowly integrating a lot of things about American culture that I don't think we should.
Like what?
Like preferring bigger like supermarkets to like that, you know, put these smaller companies out of business, you know, like these smaller shops that maybe just sell cheese, but it's like really fresh cheese and it's really good and it's like made with care and it's selected with care.
So all of the specialty markets are
all
getting
the
pushed
bakeries,
out for
all the bakeries. But there are a lot of simple dishes that can be made. And then this is something that I always encourage my friends to do, and why I get so excited when people want to know how I cook and they ask me recipes, because
Did you
it's
think
like,
about like maybe sharing your stuff on social media?
yeah, I do actually. I want to do I want to do Cooking on the Moon with Birthh.
Okay, so is this like an exclusive for this news? Because
I want to do that.
Because
yeah.
you are excellent in the kitchen, because we know that like TikTok is a very crowded space, and there are a lot of people there who do cooking videos and whatnot, and some are very great and lovely to watch. Some are on another level and we won't bash them. But I think that people also love to see creatives who we know for their music, their producing, their directing, that also have these other talents that we didn't realize that are like actually very legit, and not just, you know, trying to pass off something.
That I want to do the Cooking on the Moon with Birthh. I think it would have a lot of, it would just like be something that I would love to do, because I show care through cooking. I would love to cook for more people, but I also don't want to open a restaurant. I don't.
Maybe an exclusive supper club.
Yeah, that could be cool. I mean, like, honestly, if you have any like thing, you're more inserted in the like food business than I am, but I've always dreamt of, like, I think music and food have so much in common.
It's true.
So much in common, more than a lot of other art forms, because they also kind of both exist in time. Like when you eat something, I mean, yeah, you can see it and you can smell it, but like it changes in time. And when you eat it, the experience of eating something is kind of the way that, you know, the flavors aren't all like, you know, it depends on the food, but like,
yeah, like
most of the time it's like there's depth.
I'm doing a terrible job, I'm letting it sit, but it is still, honestly, it is still as good now as it was when you, to me at least.
No,
like,
I mean, yeah, it's still dry, but it's got all the flavors there.
I would not send this back. Like, this is fantastic.
Just cold pasta.
I mean, but that's the thing, right? But it still maintains, because, you know, like you were saying too, all of the attention to detail, the ingredients, the thoughtfulness, it still maintains the integrity of all of the flavors, which are truly, I know the pasta has to have that perfect consistency and chew, whatever, but I'm still here for what's in my plate. But that is such a huge component to it, that even if it is, to your standard, a little past its prime, it is still fabulous.
Yeah, so no, I love it. This is my favorite dish. So
I think that this, you know, this new idea for a project, like with the food, maybe a separate, we can talk offline about this. We can get, I mean,
yeah, I mean, seriously,
ideas,
I would, yeah, like this is seriously like finding a way to, because I love making music so much. Like, music is just my first love and my biggest love. And, you know, I had like the other day I was like writing a song and I was just like, damn, I love this so much. But I feel like because it's also like my career, it's just, you know, there's just a lot of pressure that gets put into it. But there's something that's very like earthy about food. It's like very grounding experience, and music is the opposite. So being able to, like, you know, connect them in a way with that type of care, with my type of care, something that I would really love to do. But yeah, like,
we're doing it.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. And I just want to thank you for this meal, because this, with your company, was just chef's kiss.
You're welcome. I had a lot of fun, and I'm happy you like the food. And,
I mean, yes, the supper club thing needs to happen, because everybody needs to experience this. So
yeah,
thank you.
Whenever.